Welcome to your Astro Forecast for the week of January 8th. I'm Sarah Nicole. This is Twisted Goddess Tarot, and my mission is to help you navigate the cosmic energies with greater awareness. If you're watching right now, you're probably watching the replay. If that's the case, go ahead and leave me a comment, say hi, so I can come back and catch up with you. So if you're new here, I do this every Monday where we hop on and we talk about what is happening in the cosmic dance this week and how the astrological transits may affect us collectively. So we all have a personal birth chart that stays the same throughout our whole life. We have progression charts and relocation charts, but besides that, but the planets are moving also. So while you, for instance, may have your Mercury in Pisces, like me, currently this week, we're moving into a time where Mercury is going to be in Capricorn. So although your Mercury may be in Pisces, you're going to be also layering the energy of what is happening currently. Okay, so that's what we're doing in this. So first off, Thursday, January 11th is the first big astrological thing that we're going to talk about this week. It is the first new moon of 2024. So we're starting it out on the 111 portal, which I'll talk about a little bit more about the numerology of that actually on Thursday, January 11th. We're not going to talk about it here in the Astro Forecast. But so we have a new moon in Capricorn, our first new moon of 2024. I know full moons get talked about a lot, but the new moon is actually my favorite moon phase. So it is a time where we're being asked to get clear on our intentions and on our goals for this lunar cycle, which is about 28 days, but also for the next 6 months up until the full moon in Capricorn on June 21st. Okay, so remember on new moons we have it's a time to set intention, and we should be setting an intention for a short-term fruition point and a long-term fruition point. So I did a video about that a while back, but I wanted to touch on it again here. So oftentimes we're asked to set an intention at the new moon, right? And let's talk about why that is. That is because the new moon marks the beginning of a new lunar cycle. So it occurs when the sun and the moon, so the sun is our being, our essence, our awareness, right? And the moon, our emotional self, what we need for our emotional needs to be fulfilled. So the sun and the moon are forming a conjunction together, which means they're meeting at the exact same degree of the zodiac. So the new moon's themes are that of new beginnings, openness, hope. It's a really beautiful time to sit quietly and allow an intention to rise up for you. What manifestations would you like to bring into your life during this lunar cycle? And so I know a lot of people will set an intention. I recommend that you set 2 intentions, one short term and one long term that you're going to work towards manifesting. Because you see, the full moon occurs 2 weeks after, around roughly 2 weeks after the new moon. And the full moon is when we're supposed to see the fruition of that intention, right? We're supposed to celebrate and give gratitude for all that has grown and see the fruition of that intention that we set. But 2 weeks is not a lot of time for an intention to come to fruition, right? It's not a lot of time. And what I find is that people will set these really powerful, impactful intentions for the new moon, which is what I absolutely recommend. But they'll set this really impactful intention, and it's not something that can realistically come to fruition in 2 weeks. And then the full moon comes and everybody's talking about celebrate, see the fruition of your intention. And you may think, well, my intention didn't come to fruition. And you may think that you did not manifest well enough. But maybe it's just the case that that should have been a long-term intention, not the short-term intention. So stay with me here. I recommend that you set a short-term fruition point, which is an intention or a manifestation that could feasibly come to fruition in 2 weeks within that same lunar cycle at the very next full moon, the following full moon. Okay, so that's something short, something little that you're going to set an intention around. And then the long-term intention that you're going to set at every new moon is going to be something that can feasibly come to fruition within 6 months. So the reason why is because the next full moon in the sign of that new moon is connected to that new moon. So you have 2 fruition points for every new moon. You have the the next full moon, and then you have the full moon that is the same 6 months later. So right now, this Thursday on January 11th, we're going to have this new moon in Capricorn. And so the short-term fruition point will be in 2 weeks when we have our next full moon. The long-term fruition point is going to be on June 21st when we have that full moon in Capricorn. Okay, so if that sounds confusing, I understand. And if that sounds confusing, if you ordered a 2024 New Moon Manifestation Guide from me, be sure to reference that, because I lay out the short-term and long-term fruition points and the dates for each new moon of 2024 for you in that 2024 New Moon Manifestation Guide. Today is the last day to order. The link is in the description of this video. It is personalized to you and your birth chart. Okay, so it's something you're going to use all year long. It's my favorite offering of the year. This is a free offering that I do every week on Monday, the Astro Forecast. This is not meant to sell you anything. This is just meant to give you an understanding of what the astrological energies are this week. But today is the last day to order that 2024 New Moon Manifestation Guide that is personalized to your birth chart. It's my favorite offering of the year. It's only $33.33, and it's something you're going to use all year long. It goes over every single new moon of the year, what sign it's in, what house it is going to be activating for you based on your birth chart, and personalized intention ideas based on where it's going to be activating for you, because the cosmic energy can support us that much more if we are in alignment with the cosmic energies. If we're setting intentions that are in alignment with where that new moon is happening and activating for us. Okay, so it's something you're going to use all year long. So this video it's still the Astro Forecast. It's not me selling you, but I would be remiss to not mention it. So while you are free for this new moon, this first new moon of 2024 on January 11th on the 111 portal, while you are free to choose any intention, it is a really wonderful idea to look at your birth chart and to see where 20 degrees of Capricorn is for you in your personal birth chart, because that is where this first new moon of 2024 is going to be at, and see what house this new moon is going to be activating in your chart and in your life, and choose an intention that fits that theme of that house, right? And so if you ordered the 2024 New Moon Manifestation Guide for me, I have done all that work for you for the whole year, right? Hey, Heather. Also, I know we all like to make full moon water. You hear about that, charging your crystals under the full moon and making full moon water. But did you know you can do that under any moon phase, not just the full moon? So on this beautiful first new moon of 2024, if you would like to set out any crystals under the new moon, it will cleanse your crystals. The new moon cleanses your crystals rather than charges them. And if you would like to make any moon water, new moon water, that is going to hold the energy of cleansing and of fresh starts. And if I were going to make new moon water at any time, it would definitely be this first new moon of 2024, fresh starts, right? So oh, I also wanted to show you the card for from the Moonology Manifestation Oracle card deck for the new moon in Capricorn. It says to step up and lead. So that's why I was saying get really clear on your goals and intentions for this next lunar cycle and for the next 6 months. Capricorn is really goal focused. It's going to succeed no matter what. Right? So Capricorn is represented by the sea goat. It is going to climb up that mountain no matter how narrow that pathway gets. It's going to reach its goal. But do not misunderstand that it is also the sea goat, which means that while it can climb to the highest heights, it can also swim to the depths. So Capricorn does hold a lot of depth within it. It's fixed earth energy, which means it is not going to budge. It is going to move towards its goal. And so we have this energy of stepping up and leading and stepping up. And when I say step up and lead in this way, as it applies to this new moon, I do feel like it's a step up and be the leader of your own life, right? That's the kind of energy I'm getting from it. Hi, Nora. All right, next we have Friday, January 12th, we have Juno retrograde until April 21st. So where does your commitment lie? Where does your commitment lie? Sit with that. What does that bring up for you when you ask yourself that question? Where does my commitment lie? Hey Raven. So Juno, who is Juno, right? We hear about the planets, Saturn and Jupiter and Mercury, but Juno, you may not know who she is. So Juno is one of the goddess asteroids, and she is the goddess asteroid of partnership and of commitment. She's really dynamic. She can show us both our motivations for being in relationships, and she can show us our core wounds of attachment. Woo! I look to Juno a lot, right? Because that's something that anyone with a trauma background can have some core wounds of attachment, right? So she can really assist you in finding a way to honor both your personal purpose and your commitments to your relationships through equality and loyalty. But as with all planets, as with all signs, as with all placements, there's a shadow side to all. And the shadow side of Juno can really show us or include power struggles, jealousy, insecurities. So, hey, this is important, right? Juno retrograde. This Juno retrograde is going to be from 6 to 21 degrees of Virgo. Juno retrograde can make us feel a little bit off in our commitments. Just know this feeling is only meant to help us to push us to revise what is not working. That's what retrograde is for. It's to help us rest, pause, look back, review, revise what is not working, okay? So while Juno retrograde is in Virgo, it's the little things that matter. It's the small details. So be aware to take note of what's not working and to address it, but be sure not to get to the point of being hypercritical and like keeping a tally of those perceived inequalities. That's not going to be helpful. That's going to be the shadow side of the Juno retrograde in Virgo. An example being they forgot to take out the trash one time, but they've done it 100 times before. That's being hypercritical, right? Whereas they never take out the trash, that's certainly a Juno retrograde in Virgo revelation of, hey, this isn't equal. Remember, it's going to be those little things within our commitments, within our partnerships. Also note that anxiousness or worry can arise during this transit. So if you are someone who is already working towards healing an insecure attachment style, be mindful of that. Be mindful of that. And just know maybe it's not you, maybe it's you. Maybe it's the way you're approaching things. But it may not be you if you're feeling more anxious or more worrisome than usual. It could be within your commitments, within your attachment style. It could be some of that Juno retrograde in Virgo, kind of asking you to realign and readjust what isn't working, what isn't balanced, what isn't aligned, and asking you to look at some of that anxiousness, look at some of that worry. It's a really good time to heal some of that. Virgo is heavily associated to self-sacrifice and to our day-to-day work as well. And so sometimes taking our focus from one area and putting it in another can really help. And so maybe recommitting to your work, recommitting to how you serve, how you are self-sacrificing and serve to the greater good would be a really beautiful way to kind of rechannel some of that anxiousness or worriness in a really positive way. So that's Juno retrograde. Remember, that starts Friday, January 12th, and that will go until April 21st. So that's going to see us well into spring, okay? And then the last thing that we have to talk about is quickly, Saturday, January 13th, Mercury re-enters Capricorn. So the planet of the mind is going back into goal-focused Capricorn after retrograde sent it back into big picture Sagittarius for a while. So remember that while your thoughts may be a little bit more focused once that happens on Saturday, January 13th, we're still in Mercury post-shadow period, the Mercury retrograde post-shadow period until January 20th. So if you're hearing a lot of things about Mercury in Capricorn and, we're focused and we have this focused mindset again, and if you're still not feeling that, if you're still feeling like the fog hasn't completely lifted yet within your mind, don't worry. It just means that you're still feeling that post-shadow period of Mercury retrograde, okay? All right, that is our Hey Share. That is our Astro Forecast for the week. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the comments. If you, this will be available for the replay. You can come back and catch what you missed at the beginning, or re-listen and remind yourself of this throughout the week as we come closer to some of these events. And one last thing is to remember that today is the last day to order your personal 2024 New Moon Manifestation Guide. It is a 10+ page personalized guide for you based on your birth chart that is going to go over every new moon of 2024. First of all, it's going to tell you how to manifest with the moon, what to do on the new moon, what to do in the first quarter, what to do on the full moon, what to do on the last quarter moon. It's going to tell you how to keep a moon manifestation journal so that you can do that long-term manifesting like we were talking about. It's going to go over every new moon of the year, what day it's on, what time it's on, what sign it's in, what that means, what house it is in for you, and how to set intentions based on where it is activating for you in your birth chart, long-term and short-term. And it's going to give you the fruition point for each one of those. So it's my favorite offering of the year. That's the only reason I keep trying to tell you guys about it, because it is absolutely my favorite offering of the year. If you get a reading from me, like, great, listen to that reading, wonderful. I'm not saying those aren't impactful, but the New Moon Manifestation Guide is something that you will actually use every month, all year long, right? So, that's powerful. I don't know. I think that's powerful. So, thank you all so much. I will see you throughout the week as I post some things, and I will see you on another live Astro Forecast on next Monday. Much love.